I can't sleep when I lay in bed. Too much thinking in my head. I don't know what to do anymore. But come on now, tell me the score. Is there anything I can do to get out of these tragic blues? I'm a victim of circumstance. I never really had a chance. I lay down and stare at my feet. You know the world has got me beat.
Welcome to today's edition of Mental Health Matters. Today I have two guests on our show. They are family advocates. They will be talking about the services that they provide for the community members here in Sacramento County. Thank you, Graciela and Cal, for being the guests on our show today. Why don't we start by you ladies introducing yourself and what you guys actually do and what organization that you currently work for.
Okay, so thank you again for having us. My name is Cal Vu, and I am one of the family advocate for the SAFE program at NorCal Mental Health America. And the SAFE program stands for Sacramento Advocacy for Family Empowerment. Okay. Do you want?
That's fine. Graciela, you.
Yeah, thank you, Jesse, for inviting us. And so we can give out to the public this information, which is very important because it's about family advocacy. My name is Graciela Medina, and I work for the SAFE program, NorCal MHA. And I am a family advocate, and I've been working there for a little over 2 years.
A little over 2 years. Great,
yes.
Great. So tell me, what is a family advocate?
So a family advocate is a parent, a caregiver, or a family members who have a child that has been receiving mental health services, have been through the system, and they successfully advocated for appropriate services needed for their child. So that's how they became a family advocate to help families out there who are also experiencing the same situation that they went through.
Okay.
A family advocate also assists the families with children with special needs through information, education, and training. Okay. And the support and assistance to the families is upon individual needs.
Okay, individual needs.
Yes.
And so what made you, and this question is going to be addressed to both of y'all, what made you actually want to become a family advocate?
For me personally, I became family advocate based on my lived experience. I have a cousin, and of course I'm a family member, and I have a cousin who have been receiving mental health services through the county, and also navigating the special education system, requesting for an IEP for my cousin to get that help at the school level. So that's how I became a family advocate, to give it back to the community out there, to the families that are in need.
Okay, awesome, awesome.
Yes. For me, I became a family member, and I believe because every person who works in this field has the heart to give.
Yes.
And it's also based on personal needs or experiences. Like, for example, myself, when I had my children younger and they needed mental health services, counseling for depression, anger management issues, there were no services.
Yes.
Especially no advocacy, no person helping you navigate the system or giving you a support in contacting providers and being there for you. So my struggle with my children and their needs was so huge that you have no idea. So I decided to go to college and study social work.
Nice.
And I'm here helping families, not because what I got, is because for what I lacked of. And I know what family needs and how it feels to get this help or try to get this help and not being able to.
Yeah.
So that's why.
And I think, and I will say this because I know firsthand that you guys do really good work. You know, I have my older sister, son, which is my nephew. He has what I would call a form of a mental health diagnosis. And, you know, even today, I don't think that my family, or I should say my sister, is even aware that there are services out there. And I think part of the reason why is the stigma that may be attached.
Definitely,
you know.
definitely.
That's a
yeah,
big
that's
one.
a big
Yeah.
issue. Yeah.
But the services that are out there can help a family member tremendously.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Yes.
Tremendously. You know, so the services that I see you guys provide on a daily basis, I know that it's definitely making an impact on people's lives. As a matter of fact, I was telling Sandina, you guys are your manager, that we had someone that took our rap class, and boy, she was ranting and raving about the services that you guys had provided to her and her family, you know. And I didn't know at the time that, you know, she was in a crisis mode, but she
Right.
said when you guys stepped in, she said you really assisted her and her family, you know, at getting the proper care and resources that they needed to kind of, you know, help them in a situation. So, you know, I give kudos, you know, to
Yes.
what you guys are doing.
Yes,
Well,
totally.
thank you very much.
Yes.
So tell me, where do you guys referrals come from? Like, how do you guys get your referrals?
So our referrals mainly came from the county,
Okay.
the Access team, as well as the Child Adolescent Psychiatry Services Clinic, which is the CAPS clinic. We
Yes.
always call that, and that's one of the children's clinic here in Sacramento. Also, Child Protective Services,
Oh, nice.
Juvenile Hall, Probation. Also, we receive referrals from there's self-referral
Self-referrals,
families
yes,
called
we receive a
us,
lot of those.
because they research us and, you know, see us online, or they talk with other families member who have been receiving services from us in the past, and so it's basically the self-refer and and also the school.
Yes.
School. Yeah.
Yeah, schools refer them to.
Yeah. And I know that your program does a lot of outreach as well, because I know we've actually, you know, did a lot of outreach together. So I know doing outreach and passing out flyers and things like that, I know that people also get a glimpse of what SAFE program is about by doing health fairs and just getting out there face to face with the community and let them know that you guys are the face of the SAFE program.
That's
and,
right.
And this is how the services are being provided through you guys.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, that is true.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to add, doing outreach is one of the things I love about being part of the SAFE program, because going out there to these community events and letting people know about our services, and also other services out there that's available
Yes.
to them and also to their child. It makes them very happy when they come to approach me and let me know that they're very thankful for me
Yes.
to be there at
Yes.
the event. So
Yes.
it just made me very proud and excited.
Yes.
Yes, that is true.
So okay, so we're touching on the subject services. So I want to kind of highlight so that people can know, what do SAFE actually do? Like, what services do SAFE actually provide for Sacramento County family members?
Our program provides support and advocacy services through case management and coordination services.
Okay.
That's the services we provide, and within we provide support with children needing individual educational plans in schools.
Okay.
We also provide support to families who are going through court processes like divorce or probation, you name it. supporting, connecting families with the services they need in the community, like mental health, counseling, like parenting, in-home parenting skills, anger management issues that they might have. So we have also these classes that are offered by the SAFE program.
Okay.
And anger management classes are for teenagers from 13 to 18.
Okay.
And those are free services. Every services in the SAFE program are free.
Okay.
So, and anger management classes, I was saying they are court order.
Okay.
So whether the youth comes voluntarily or because it's court order, they have their certification.
Okay.
Yes.
So I know, just to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, I know that the SAFE program is also they also have youth advocates as well.
That is right.
So let's kind of talk about that, because I know from my understanding the youth advocates are they the ones that teach the anger management classes?
Correct.
Okay, so let's touch
Yes.
on the youth advocates a little bit.
So our youth advocate is a person who have their own lived experience as a youth themselves, who have been through the mental health system as pertaining to receiving mental health services in the past, and they are now successfully in the past they have advocated successfully to get services for themselves with their family members, and so now they are youth advocate themselves, so that they can come back to help any youth out there in the county, in the community. So yes, they do this anger management group for teens, and they also run a teen support group. And for teenagers 13 to 18 years of age. It's along with our parent support groups that me and Graciela runs.
Okay.
I run the English speaking group, and Graciela runs the Latino Spanish speaking
Spanish speaking families
support groups.
And also the youth advocates, what the responsibilities within the role of the youth advocate is to be a mentor to youth.
Yes.
Going to school issues, depression, or other mental health needs. And their role is to teach them a way to success. And so that's an excellent thing to do.
And so you guys program not only provides service to the family, but it also covers the youth portion as well.
That is, yes.
And I also wanted to add, within the SAFE program, we have the family advocate and the youth advocate. We also have a family and youth coordinator, which you mentioned, Sandina Bader, and she is our the youth. She is the liaison to mental health to the county, and we all attend county levels meetings to ensure that the family's perspective is on the table within the system, any system planning or implementation. We want to be there to make sure families are represented.
So I know when a family advocate goes to court with the families, let's kind of touch on that, because I know whenever somebody is going to court, whether they're going to court to fight for custody of their children or whatever the case may be, I know having somebody there as a support system really kind of bring ease to the situation. Like, just tell me from your experience, even from your experience, if you or when you went to court with a family, tell me what that was like, and what role did you play in that? So
my experience working with families who have been through CPS or probation, and I go out there to provide emotional support. So one of the things is to be there to listen. Most of the parents, they come from a lot of, depending on their needs, they come from different types of, life aspect. They just wanted to vent. And so when you go to court, you just listen to them, acknowledge that what they're going through, and it's relevant sometimes when I will share my lived experience and say, hey, don't worry, because I do have a niece who have been through the system, and and I have been advocating to help my niece, so then it's just to make sure to let them know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
And that I have been through that, and that they can also be accommodate and I'm sorry, not accommodate, overcome.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes. Yes. So and one of the things I was trying to say is I'm here to empower them.
Yes.
We're here to empower them.
Yes.
To make sure they are getting their voice heard.
Yes.
And get connected to.
Yeah.
One of the things that we didn't mention in the beginning was that a family advocate responsibility is to share the personal stories or experiences that we have gone through, to share them with the family according to the need in that moment. And so the family doesn't feel so overwhelmed thinking that she is by herself or she's alone in navigating the situation or the system depending on the need at the moment. So in listening to our stories, that person feels much more confident and can navigate in the system with much more, with a self-esteem not so low.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
So yes, that's one of our responsibilities in working with the families.
So you kind of bring me to my next question, because I know, Graciela, you're from a Spanish-speaking culture,
right.
and Kyle, you're from a Hmong-speaking culture. How important is it that the clients you're serving, how important is it to have their particular culture represented in a family advocate?
So as far as me, I think it's very important to have diversity in the program, because we have a lot of families out there in the community who doesn't speak English.
Yes.
English is not their first language. So it's important to have, for example, me speaking Hmong, to be more familiar with families who are Hmong, to know the language, to can relate to them, and understand what their beliefs are, to have a better explanation what mental health is, because I'm pretty sure it happens to other different culture as well. In our culture, we don't have a word for mental health.
Oh, wow.
So when you talk about mental health, it's very it's something where we really don't want to talk about. When it says mental health in the Hmong community, you just say they're crazy. And so for having me as someone to be there to help the Hmong families that comes to my program to understand more about what mental health is. It's not just saying that you're crazy. It's something that something that you can't really get, something that you can't really get away with when you're already in it. So might as well. A lot of people they have that they also have that same experience. Not just that one person. There's a lot of people out there. So again, it's I just feel like I go out there and then help them understand what mental health is, and let them know that there are a lot of services out there available for them as well as for the child to get that counseling services or the medication needed. And so
I think that having diversity in the staff in SAFE program, as in any organization, is really important, because like I mentioned, there are many families. How many United States, it's or the inhabitants of this country are so diverse. So there are many families that speak different languages, and they come to programs, and if they don't find the right person to speak with, the communication is going to be lost in between,
Yes.
and the services are not going to be provided in a right way.
Yeah.
So that's why it's of huge importance that every organization, not only SAFE, but every organization have diversity in the staff.
Yes, and I know, you know, it feels a lot better if you have somebody that you can communicate with, that you can also identify with.
Right.
That is right.
You know,
yes.
because someone that who may understand your struggles, someone that who understands
Right,
the culture,
right.
you know, someone that can really, you know, help you because they know where you're coming from, so to
That is,
speak.
yes,
Right.
You
yes.
know, and Cal, you kind of talked about the Hmong community not having a word for mental health. Well, I think that, you know, you being available and providing these services is a huge support for that community, because not only are you able to educate them, but you're also letting them know it's okay.
Right.
You know, I'm here to
Yes.
help you.
Right, right.
You know, there's things that we can do to get you over this situation right here.
Yeah,
Right.
totally.
You know, because a lot of them, a lot of people really, honestly, they don't know. You got people coming in from other countries
Yes,
and
yes,
don't know how they're
definitely.
going to survive, don't know what to
Yes.
do. You know, English is not their first language,
Right.
and they're really at a standstill.
Right.
You know.
Yes.
And so diversity
Really.
in the workplace, like you said, is a huge component
Right.
with providing the services to the people in Sacramento County
Right.
that's
Yes.
needed. Yeah.
That is totally true.
Yeah, I have a Russian friend. Most of my friends are Russian, and you know, when I go and visit one in particular, I listen to their dialect, and you know, to me, they speak really good English. I can understand,
Yeah.
but to them, they are so self-conscious that they're not being able to communicate effectively
Right.
in English, but in actuality, they are. But just to have their children that speaks that same language, it makes them feel very comfortable.
Right. Yes.
know.
That's very important.
Yeah. So how long can a client receive service from SAFE? Is it 6 months, 3 months? Is it a cutoff period, or how does that work?
So the SAFE program is a short-term program.
Okay.
Again, it's also based on the family's needs.
Yeah.
Based on whatever life aspect they're coming from, and whatever systems that their child is involved already,
Yeah.
or not. And when I talk about system, is the child protective services or probation. It just depends on the needs. Again, it's short term.
Okay.
Some families will stay with us for a month,
Okay.
and some can stay longer, to 4 to 5 months to a year.
Yeah.
Yes.
And again, they can always come back
Yeah.
to get access to our services, and they can just call back and let us know that they wanted us to be there to help them. They can always come back if we do, and close their case early.
Yeah.
Yes. So. Yes, do you want
Yeah,
to
like I was mentioning before, the services are or provided depending upon their individual needs. We serve one family at a time, and some of the families come to our program requesting help and obtaining an IEP, individual educational plan. Others come requesting mental health counseling, anger management, assistance with probation issues or court issues. And so the time in between one family and another one differs a lot. So,
Okay.
yes.
So, okay, so I want to kind of piggyback a little bit and kind of touch on the support groups, because I know from my understanding that you facilitate the English speaking support group, and you facilitate the Spanish speaking support group. So what do you guys actually do at your support group to support and help the families?
So in our support group, I guess I haven't mentioned we do it on the first and third Tuesday of the month.
Okay.
And it's held at the Fruit Ridge Community Center.
Okay.
From 6 to 8 p.m. in the evening, and family come there to get support from other families.
Okay.
We share information about regarding to resources out there that is available, any community events that is coming up, like health fair.
Yeah.
So that to let the family know that they can bring their kids out for a weekend afternoon just to get resources.
Yeah.
We also have different type of topics
Yes.
to bring it to talk, discussing about depression
Yeah.
or ADHD. As well as special education, because some families, they want to learn more about how to look into getting an IEP for their child,
Yeah.
because their child may have a learning disability, but they don't know how to approach, how to go about that.
Yeah.
So they will come to our support group.
Yeah, sometimes listening to other families, they get an idea of how to do, and they also feel supported.
Yeah.
In most of the issues or themes, topics that we talked in our groups are related to mental health.
Yeah.
Like it is depression, anxiety, ADHD,
Bullying, things
bullying.
like that.
Bullying
Yeah.
is a big one too, and everything relates to mental health issues. And families come and they feel very supported, like I said, and find other opinions, other ideas about how to deal with their day-to-day situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's important too, because when you have people that are going through the same thing that you're going through, and when you get them together and they're able to kind of express their concerns, they're able to express what they're going through
Right.
with their family or with their children, what that does is that, like you said, it gives them different ideas from their peers and how to attack their problem and
Right.
overcome it too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I
that is
know
true.
when I facilitate my support groups, these ladies and gentlemen that attend, they love it, and I know it because it gives them something to look forward to. Number one,
Right.
Yes.
things come up from time to time, day to day, week to week, and so when they get there, they're able to say, "Hey, Graciela, this happened," or "Hey, Cal, this happened," or "Hey, group, this happened. What do you guys think about this?"
Right.
And so you guys are able to get in there as a group,
Right.
Right.
and attack what's going on.
Right.
Right.
You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, what steps are actually involved in becoming a client? Like, if I had, someone that I wanted to refer to, say, like, how do they actually become a client?
Let me answer to that one, please. Once a person is referred to our program and we get the referral, we have 48 hours, one day or two, to call the family.
Okay.
And once we contact the family, we schedule some time to see what is the family needs and talk about the services our program provides, and also to obtain consents to start working with them. From there, if it's regarding to, I was gonna say we start providing services, because if it's regarding to mental health need of counseling, we connect them right there with Access, with the Access program. If they need our support in connecting them, or they want to do them on their own, but most of the times we support them right in the moment to start the connections.
Okay, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I know. What about clothing? Are you guys able to assist them with any type of clothing or anything?
Yes,
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 Okay.
yes. There, we have a grant from the Desert Industries, and this is every year, and it's for families more, the more needed
Okay.
families is the ones that we give these vouchers.
Yeah.
And sometimes we also assist them with transportation because there are many times they don't have transportation to go to, and so we take them to.
Okay, that's awesome. So transportation is also being provided as well.
Yeah, it is very limited,
Yeah.
but yes, if they have an emergency or
Yeah.
they said I have to go and I have nobody to help me
Yeah.
with transportation, that's where we are.
Okay, so it's not
No,
it's not like a taxi cab
No, it's
service.
not.
It's not there available for
Yeah.
families to utilize. It's necessarily needed only when advocacy is needed.
Yeah, like,
Right.
right. I
Yes,
understand. It's
yes.
not like, hey, can you take me to my friend's house
No.
and drop me off and come pick me up? No, I understand because some people, are in need, of
Yes,
course, but
yes.
also you have those that, would kind of abuse it
Right.
if they could. So.
Yes.
Yes.
So, what are, in your opinion, what are some of the obstacles that families face that have children, that have a mental health diagnosis? Like, have you seen them face obstacles with their children?
Yes, definitely. Some of especially in the Latino community or Spanish-speaking communities, a lot of times is the language barrier and medical insurance. And there are limited resources for the undocumented family in having no medical. And the other obstacle as well is transportation, because keeping in mind that the resources are limited, if we find a resource for that family, the lack of transportations a lot of times is another obstacle.
Yes.
Yeah, following with the CPS system, which is very complicated to families, and especially to our families in the community, Spanish-speaking. And so those are huge. And another one is sometimes the parent special needs, mental health needs as well.
Yeah.
Because it makes it difficult because a lot of times the parent or family member needs to take care of himself or herself first in order to help the children.
Yes.
And that's really huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say it's the family members, because of the lack of knowledge or education in mental health. So that could be one of the barrier in a parent or a family member who is taking care of a child with mental health diagnosis, because, and again, it's the stigma.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Is
Yeah.
the big one, because what if they this mental health, when they take their child to get an assessment done, and a counselor or a therapist said your son or your daughter has depression or has some type of mental health diagnosis, it could be a trigger for them. It could be a stigma
Yes.
that they don't want people to know. So that's
Yeah,
why they're not
definitely.
seeking help for the
Yeah.
child, because they think that it's okay. They just keep it within the family.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
Yeah,
so again,
definitely,
I
yes.
think it's the lack of knowledge and education, knowing that it's okay to get help when you're diagnosed, when your child is diagnosed with a mental health
Yes.
condition. It's okay to go out there and get help for your child.
Yeah, that's exactly
definitely,
right.
definitely.
I know within the African American community, we tend to, because we're portrayed as being a strong race, for lack of better terms, because of the things that we've been through in society, racism,
Right.
slavery, or whatever. And so to have someone in your family to have a mental health diagnosis, that's like taboo.
Right.
Exactly.
Like,
it is.
no, And so I have, several members in my family that who has a mental health diagnosis. One of the family members, because she didn't get the proper help that she needed from a child growing up. She grew up with this diagnosis, and she made a lot of poor decisions that ultimately
Yes.
led to her death.
Right.
You know, and even I think maybe like 2 weeks ago, I was at home, and I was actually just, for some reason she came to mind, and I thought about that, and I thought to myself, now what if she would have got the help she needed, as a child, whether it was getting medication, whether it was
Yes.
getting resources, she probably would still be here today,
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
But instead, they kind of swept it under the rug as if she didn't need help,
Yes.
and she really
Yes.
did need
Yes.
help.
Yes,
you
what
know.
happened is that the same stigma when they are younger. Parents don't try to get services for them, and as adults, it's much more difficult to get services or to be diagnosed.
Yes, yeah, I definitely
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
I know, I'll say this, my brother, my youngest brother, we knew that something was wrong mentally, you know. And so for a long time, I mean, he would have these outbursts, these behaviors, and and I remember talking to my mother recently, and she told me, she said that she did not get the help for him because she was worried about what other people in the family would think,
Yeah.
worried about what her friends would think.
Exactly, that's
And as a result of her not getting that help,
Right.
he made a lot of poor choices
yeah.
in life as well.
Right.
And so
Yes.
finally, he got to the point where he ended up getting incarcerated.
right.
Okay.
And so during his incarceration, he went and saw a psychiatrist and kind of told them what was going on with him, because it was really difficult for him.
Right.
And they did diagnose him, I think, well, I want to say bipolar. And now he's getting the help that he needs, but that's something that should have
They
been,
could have done
Yes,
that earlier
yes,
when
yes,
he was
yes,
younger.
that is
Yes.
true.
and it probably would avoid for
Yes.
him from making a lot
Yes.
of poor choices.
Yes.
But a lot of families don't know that when you don't step forward for your loved one,
That is true.
it'll make a really negative impact on their life, or it could potentially make a negative impact on their life as they begin to grow.
Right, yes,
Right.
yes.
So so tell me, what are some of the challenges for you providing services to the families of children that family members that may have a mental health diagnosis? Because I know there got to be some challenges.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. As for me, with the Spanish-speaking communities and families, the language barrier is one. It's a big one, and going back, it's kind of overlapping, but it's the reality. It's again the mental health insurance or medical insurance to obtain mental health services. It's really something that it frustrates us. It really does, because we're trying to obtain services for these families, and again, services are really limited.
Yeah.
For Spanish-speaking families with undocumented situations, and it's a frustration for us trying to find services. And again, is transportation as well.
Yeah.
Transportation, because the families that we help are a lot of times come from child welfare.
Yeah.
And protection.
Child
CPS,
protection.
child services protection. And so they're dealing with issues going to court, children are taken away, and we are there trying to find the right services, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and that's a big obstacle for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, my experience working as a family advocate, because I've been here for 5 years now.
Oh, nice.
With the title of being a family advocate, when families come to you, they think that you are the one. You have the magic wand, and you have the magic.
That is true.
and that if they are involved, if their child is involved with CPS or probation, they come to you, they expect you to have the authority to bring their kids back. Or special education, they expect you to have this direct to school to give the IEP right away.
Yes, yes.
And so that's one of the challenge where I try to explain to them that as a family advocate, I'm here to support you and to ensure that you and your child's getting necessary, appropriate services in place. But I don't have the authority. Just because my title is a family advocate doesn't mean I am an attorney or that I can do anything legal. I don't have that authority. So sometimes families do get mad because with the title, they come to me. But when I disclose that I can't really do much other than just providing emotional support and connecting you to any other resources, it's a challenge trying to deal with to help them because sometimes they won't allow you to help them anymore and they won't follow through because knowing that we can't really do much. But at the same time, we wanted to make sure that they are getting, connected and that their child is getting the appropriate treatment or services in place. So, yes, that's my challenge.
And I do think that's important too. That and I just kind of what both of you were sharing that. You are there to provide advocacy support, and we are not doctors and lawyers and and people like that. But we can give them the resources. We can point them to the right direction and be there for them emotionally. And even be a voice for them to a certain extent. But we can't. We can't overstep our boundaries either.
Right.
Yes.
And that's got to be hard for a lot of them. I know. Working in an older adult program, a lot of other clients, and I have to consistently remind them that, that you're receiving services through the volunteers, that goes out to your home. And so a lot of times they want the volunteers to provide another level of services that
is not part of the role,
exactly.
right?
Yes.
And so and it's challenging because I have to remind them, and they're like, no, pretty much I'm not trying to hear anything you're saying. They need to do this, and that. And I'm like, no, they're giving up their time. These people have jobs, they have families, and they go on vacations, and they get tired like you get tired, and so this is all they can do. And I think that's really difficult.
Yeah, usually I just let my family know that I'm here to advocate and support you and to empower you. So then you can just be out there and better advocate for your own self and for your child later on when you're no longer connected to our services. So
we also talk to them about the job policies in the beginning, and every time they want to kind of go over boundaries, we just do a little reminder of their policy and help them to find other resources or do their own network system.
So you encourage them to also advocate for themselves as well. Exactly.
And just to identify their supporters who can be there when they can't reach us, not to depend on us 24/7 because we are only here Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. And so we help them to identify their supporters who could be there, for example, family members or any close friends that can be there to listen. Because most family, they just wanted to vent. They just wanted somebody to listen to what's going on in their life and their struggles of, raising a child. They just want to have somebody there in ear to listen. So, and also I always refer the family to the 24/7 parent hotline where they can call through the effort and where they can call 24/7 whenever I am not available. I can refer them and say, call the 24/7 hotline and talk to somebody when I'm not available. Because again, we're not a crisis program. We're here to support them and to ensure that their child is getting the appropriate services and treatment.
Yes.
And
Yeah. So I want to kind of piggyback too, because I know you said that the teen co-ed, that support group. Now,
Yes.
is that boys and girls, so to speak?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have something like for like the family members and the children together, or is this still separate?
So as far as now, we still haven't looked into that.
Okay.
It's still separated. But it happens on the same day, same
Yeah.
time, same building,
Right.
just
Yeah.
different rooms.
Yeah.
But we are maybe planning in the future
yeah.
to have something like that going on.
Yeah.
To have the family and the youth to merge in together to
Yeah.
have that support group setting.
So have you ran across, and I'm sure you may have, family members or mother or father that need your services, but they don't really get along with their child. And I mean, because to me that has to be very difficult. When you have a parent who really, is really needing this help, and the child is being non-compliant, and just how does that work? Like, how do you kind of try to bridge that gap between the child and their parent?
So, again, that's one of the reasons why we have a family advocate and a youth
Okay.
advocate.
Okay.
So it comes in handy when
Okay.
we work at family together
Okay,
as a
good.
team.
Okay.
Having a family advocate to work directly with the parent or the caregiver,
Yeah.
while our youth advocate works directly with
the youth.
Yeah.
So we work as a team to ensure that communication among the parent and the child, to improve that, as
Yeah.
well as having our youth advocate to support the youth in getting the necessary need to meet the youth's need,
Yeah.
while we as a family advocate work with the parent to ensure that, hey, it's okay, let your youth have
Yes.
their own time.
Yeah.
They are connected with our youth advocate, so whatever's going on, let them work with our youth advocate.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you when I talked about bullying, and I mentioned about bullying, you said that's a huge one.
It is.
Why do you think bullying is such a hot topic, so to speak, in the arena that we're in, so to speak? Why do you think that the children today are have this mentality and feel compelled to really bully their peers? Why do you think?
I think that the reason for this bullying is the lack of communication
Okay.
with parents and children. The lack of communication, lack of support, because the self-esteem grows in the family, starts in the family. And if that self-esteem is strong, then you go out and you go confident, you go sure of yourself.
Yeah.
And so you won't have the need to bully nobody.
Yeah.
But what is to me, that is the reason for so much bullying out there: lack of communication between parents and children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lack of support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Well, for me, again, like what Graciela
Yeah.
said, it's the communication among the parent and
Yeah.
the child. Also, I think it's also because of honestly, I feel like they're not connected to any type of any other
Support
social
services.
interaction with
Yeah.
other peers.
Yeah.
So it makes them feel like they should, get out there.
Yes, be involved.
But at the
and,
same time, they're doing something wrong
Yeah.
back to their peers.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
and yeah. So again, it all falls into what Graciela said
Yeah.
about the lack of communication with the parent,
Lack of
as well as
communication and
any
support.
staff out there in the school. In that way, they become bully themselves. So
So when a parent, because it seems like the parents, are expressing their concerns about their children being bullied at schools or among their peers. You know, I also think that too, because when think about it, when we were children growing up,
Right.
when we came across people that we felt was different than us, or we felt you know, that was, you know, not cool, or you know, stuff like that, a lot of times those particular people or children, they do tend to become a target.
Yes.
You
yes,
know,
yes,
and
I
sometimes
totally
the
agree.
bullies have a lot of insecurities, but no one knows that.
Right.
Because,
right.
but they're hiding their
Yes.
insecurities by putting
Yeah,
the
they-
next person down. You know, and so I think that's why it's important that the children have that connection, that communication with their families.
That is right.
So they can talk about what is actually going on,
Right.
you know, with them in school, or if somebody's doing something wrong to them.
So the parents can go out and support them.
Exactly.
Not only in the house, but out there. Talk to their teachers, talk to their school principals, and advocate for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that you know, you the SAFE program go up to the schools and also provide services. So what do you do when you go up to the schools? I know you guys kind of help them work on some type of plan for their child, or
Yeah, so basically we go to the school. How we get involved is when parents have concerns regarding to their child having some maybe learning disability going
Yeah.
on, or maybe the child has a mental health diagnosis,
Yeah.
and so the child is struggling in school. Maybe they have some behavior going on
Yeah.
at the school.
Yeah.
So we go there to help request the school, the district,
Yes.
to implement and to create an IEP,
Yes.
which stands for the individual education plan
Yeah.
for that specific child to gear toward that child's need.
Yes.
Yeah, at the
Yeah.
school.
Yeah,
So-
but also there are times when we go trying to reach out for to families that may need safe services. What we do is we talk about our program, we talk about the services we provide and how we could assist the families, and so so we can reach out more families. Yes.
And I feel like too, that's another way to kind of find out if your client, you know, son or daughter is being bullied.
Right, right.
And that's
Yes.
another place that
Right.
you can
Yes,
address
yes,
that
yes.
and help them.
Yes,
Right.
because I do have a couple, you know, times where I help the family to request for an IEP and
Yes.
just discuss about what are the concerns.
Yeah.
And then there are times where the child will have an opportunity to come to the meeting, to the table at you know, a short time, just to talk about what's going on.
Yeah.
And sometimes the child will say, "Oh, someone who this and this was bullying me.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
I don't want to go to school. That's
Yes.
why."
Right,
So
right.
yeah, so a lot of the people that were at the table will be like, "Oh, that's something new. You know, we never know that, you know, that child was being bullied."
Yeah.
And so that's something they will look into. So
Yeah.
it kind of helped,
Yeah.
you know, to the staff and the teacher to be aware that yes, that child is maybe bullied. That's
Yeah.
why they're struggling in
Yeah.
school.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's important. So, and I know we're running out of time, but I want to ask you right quick. So we talked about, you know, different things, but I want to kind of get you guys to tell me, what do you do when you're having a stressful day? Because you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot, and you're serving families from all different type of backgrounds and different issues. When you get to the point when you feel like, you know, the work is being stressful, how do you take care of yourself?
Yes.
Because you got to be able to be in a good space to be able to provide good quality service. So how do you take care of yourself, just right quick?
Yes.
Well, for me personally, I will talk to my coworkers. For
Okay.
example, I will discuss with Graciela about, you know, the family particularly that's making me stressed. Or I'll go to our family and youth coordinator, Sandina, just get, you know, to listen to what's going on with me and the family, to provide that extra support.
Yes.
I also, find rap is useful. Rap
Yeah.
is, the Wellness Recovery Action Plan. And I find that that's very helpful
Okay.
because ever since I have come here to the SAFE program, I, were able to introduce to rap and come out with my own wellness tool
Yes.
to help cope with whenever I feel like I'm stressing out. I use that to keep myself to maintain my wellness, so that I can continue doing what I'm doing.
Continue
Yes,
doing well.
yes.
What about you, Graciela?
As for me, I follow a lot of what Carl's mentioned, talking to my supervisor, coworkers, but I use a lot of my rap tools,
Yeah.
which is meditation, go out to the park and run, exercise, listen to music, talk to my family, and that gets me out of stress easily.
Okay.
Especially listening to music, meditating. It's so relaxing for me. And
Awesome.
so that's my daily practice, kind of, so I won't get stressed easily.
Okay. Well, we've run out of time, and I thank both of you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be a guest on our show and just really highlight the services that you provide in your role as a
Okay.
family advocate. You're doing a lot, and you're definitely making a difference in the community. And that is it for today's edition of Mental Health Matters. If you like our show, or if you have any questions about our show, please call 916-366-4600. Thank you.
When I think of where I've been, the good times and the bad, on a scale of 1 to 10, either way I'm glad, 'cause I'm not alone. As I'm reaching for the phone, your voice is there, you really care, you're my comfort zone. Sometimes when I'm lost, crushed beneath the pain, though I can't afford the cost, I just smile and play the game. But there's a healing place where I cannot pretend. Your smiling face, your heart's embrace heals me again. So even when the storm is strong and I'm deaf to my own cry, I faintly hear a distant song, and I simply can't deny that I'm not alone. 10,000 times I've known my best bet is that first step for hope. Trying to stand tall, I'm haunted by the past. With my back against that wall, one thing is clear at last. The kind of love you show to me flows from an endless stream, with shores so wide it won't subside. My mind had never dreamed how I'm not alone. Even when I'm on my own, your gentle touch is much too much to let me roll. So even when the storm is strong and I'm deaf to my own cry, I faintly hear a distant song, and I simply can't deny how I'm not alone. 10,000 times I've known my best bet is that first step for hope.